Thank you, Madam Chairman. A question to Councillor Ellenbrook, if I may. Does she think it's a good idea, both in economic and climate change reasons, to send a taxi from Essex down to Cornwall to take Cornish children to school? Thank you.
Councillor Ellenbrook.
I think that actually is a question for my colleague, Councillor Pears, because actually school transport is within his remit. However, I think you need to be well aware of the response that you have already had from Cornwall Council about why this has happened.
Councillor Pears.
Yeah, thank you. This was a bit of a strange one, coming right into a new portfolio and finding out about this. Again, this is one of those stories that does sound absolutely crazy on the surface of it, but then I dug into it and unfortunately I had a much more mundane and boring answer, which is that the council put out a contract for taxis to take children to school. One of the companies that was picking up this contract didn't have enough workers in that particular area at that particular time. They were a national company, so they drafted a couple of additional workers to come down and cover a shift temporarily. It was a temporary solution, and as soon as they had new workers on site who could actually cover that, they would simply swap over to them. They didn't envisage it being a long-term thing. The council were not aware of this because, of course, why would you be? You've hired someone to do a job and they're doing the job. Yes, it's not particularly environmentally efficient, but I think if most of us ran a company and we had some employees here and we had some work there, we'd ship them down for a few weeks to cover the job. It's something and nothing, and that's where we're up to on that. Thanks.
Do you have a supplementary?
Yeah, I'm afraid school transport is a mess. We know the budget of school transport is a mess, way over budget. Perhaps we should work with our own taxi companies here in Cornwall. We do have a taxi driver sat here with us today. I think if we could do that, we've shown that at other times where the market isn't working, we can intervene as a council and make sure that we can get things to work. Why should we be filling the pockets of a company in Essex when we could use our own taxi companies here in Cornwall? And if the market is failing, we've seen established companies like Core Mac for the roads, Core Care for core services.
We're going off piste here.
Services. Well, we could start Core Taxis. Thank you very much.
Councillor Pearce.
Thank you. Yes, you raised a few points there. First things first, this isn't a company from Essex. This is actually a company that works in multiple areas, including down here. And they just happen to have some drives in Essex. So that's one way of looking at that. The next thing is we are already working with our taxi drivers down here. We actually don't have enough in that particular area. And then the other thing is, I think you're absolutely right. I'm new, I'm getting to grips with this portfolio. I really want to get in and start understanding more about it. And I really want to understand, who we are, who we're taking to school, in which area and why. I think it's very interesting that the council is spending an awful lot of money shipping children to school, and I want to understand why we're doing that, where we're doing that, and how we can improve that system going forward. Thank you.